From now on, I'm going to test out something, and I'm gonna name it Journal de John, which is just journals, John's journal or John's diary in French. I can't speak French, so please pardon me. And let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below, and let's go. Dear Diary, on Monday, I read through Dhruv's story and I realized that I had to make a whole talk between the Spids and Eduardo, and it's philosophical, and worst of all, he flips the table, so I gotta animate all of that. And there's a dining hall, which means I have to animate and put in all the food and all the stuff, and I don't think I've ever cursed Dhruv any more than that time. Dear Diary, Monday was bad, but Tuesday was great because Dhruv actually finished the side quest and it was really, really good. So very, very surprising that he has so much creativity. Okay, enough kissing his ass. He did it pretty good. I had to go through it and then I had to go and clean up the new stuff. So he made this thing called the Green Brotherhood in the story, so now we want to include that. And because of the Green Brotherhood, I drew in new art for the Green Brotherhood. Thanks to the skeletal animation that we kind of cheated with now, it's going to be much, much easier for me to animate new Spids from ever since we converted it, and it's a godsend. It really is. Dear Diary, Wednesday, Dhruv and I actually got to talk about the dungeon that we were going to make. The idea behind it was that Eduardo is going to be a big game and there's several mechanics, but we weren't sure if it works out. And of course, being the super smart people we are, we decided why not just make a random generated dungeon that has everything in Brave Eduardo, so all the mechanics are in the dungeon itself. And the dungeon will be a small version of Brave Eduardo. So if the dungeon is fun, the game is fun, and we started working on it. Thank goodness I've already prepared most of the rooms like, a year ago, so all the art is already there, and actually the rooms mostly been prepared. Dhruv and I had a little bit of argument between how complicated we wanted the generation to be, but after a while we realized that that's not the focus of this test anyways, so we just went straight to working on it, and it's I think we can finish it on time. Dear Diary, Thursday was pretty interesting because we actually finished most of it. It was actually really fun. It's been a while since we can fully focus on the game, and we can just go we sat down, we played the generation, we realized, oh, it's missing some stuff. And then we were like, all right, we haven't put in all the mechanics yet, and we slowly put in. We thought of ways to make the mechanics work, and hopefully to find a way so in Brave Eduardo itself, in the future, you will be able to enter these procedurally generated dungeon forever. So rather than this just be a test, in Brave Eduardo now you will be able to dungeon crawl for as much as you want now, and that's very, very exciting because the dungeon looks pretty good. And it's more fun than I think, and I believe once we have all the stuff in there, it will be good. Oh, and I also drew a card for Stone, so you guys get to see it now. Dear Diary, today was the hardest one. On Friday, we realized that the cooking and all that stuff will need to be placed into the dungeon itself, so we had to spawn them in, and you'll have to be able to collect materials and collect cooking items and all that stuff within the dungeon itself. We're thinking of ways to limit it so you can only get specific dungeon set items in this dungeon. So Dhruv had to code something specifically, so whatever is thrown into this dungeon will only drop a certain amount of items, and you'll be able to craft it, and hopefully it will all fit in the loop itself. Overall, it's actually been very, very fun in the dungeon generation. We found a really easy way to generate it. Most of the stuff is stuff that we already have, so we don't have to do much. The micro decision is pretty good. I think what we have left is just going to be, I think the bosses. Yeah, we have to create a custom set of boss for this dungeon, which are going to be the skeletons, which you guys probably see in the clips already. And yeah, that's generally it for Friday. And overall, I think this week was really, really good. We've been testing so many things. Dhruv and I work very differently. I have certain goals, and then I will just focus on the goal. When I run out of goals, I know how to come up with a second one. And Dhruv doesn't like to waste time thinking about what he should be doing next. And for this week and last week, actually, we tested that Dhruv and I would actually talk and we would plan out what we're going to do that week. And it seems to work really, really well for Dhruv. He's much happier when things aren't as uncertain, so he knows exactly what to do, and when he gets to do it, he gets to put in all his effort in it. It's just interesting that after working together for so long, I still didn't know that much about Dhruv. And the past week, actually, it's been tough, but we are starting to learn how we can work together better. And hopefully Brave Eduardo is going to be our example of that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this kind of content in the comments down below. I believe it's way more neutral, and thanks to Alan, who gave me a lot of suggestions on what I shouldn't be talking about. I think I'll probably be sticking to diaries again. It's funny, we've gone a full circle. That's how we started in the very beginning. Thought people didn't care, and now we then we started doing the podcast stuff and just more talking, and it seems like people didn't like that as much as us just talking about our work. So I'm guessing people do like what we're working on, which is Brave Eduardo, and that makes me happy. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.